The Leban Cultural and Development Organization, LECUDO Douala, met today, May 4, 2025, in the LECUDO Hall for their usual monthly meeting, and top on the agenda was planning towards the election of the executive of the Central Committee of LECUDO General. And in his opening speech, the President, Mr. Chalefe Hilary, cautioned his members to have a deep reflection on the way forward of LECUDO General, as this will guide them to vote those who can better serve the Leban community in power. In an exclusive interview with the president, he disclosed to us when and where these elections are due to take place.
On our agenda today was preparatives towards the elections of the CEB that is going to take place on the 31st of this month, 31st of May, in Amazi.
Some people don't know CEB. What does it mean in full, please?
Central Executive Bureau.
Okay.
As preparations towards these elections, the president plans to send 10 delegates, as well as give his branch support.
As far as planning is concerned, we need to send delegates home. Looking at our number, LECUDO Douala is expected to send home at least 10 delegates that are going to participate in the elections. You know that as a normal rule, you have a delegate per 20 active members, and LECUDO Douala has more than 200 active members, so we are looking at sending home more than 10 delegates, 14 delegates.
Okay, any other contribution you would like to make towards this event?
Yeah, of course, LECUDO Douala has to participate financially, because all branch members, all the branches, active branches are expected to contribute to the organization of this elective bureau. So LECUDO Douala, of course, will not be left out.
President, he reacts to the fact that Leban people are not satisfied with the outgoing executive.
An executive that is 100%. Yes, there will be weaknesses, people will complain. So what do? We need to step up. LECUDO Central needs to step up so as to meet the people's expectations. And what do we do as a people? Because sometimes when you put people on power and you don't give them the necessary support, and then they are bound to fail. We should not only be on the complaining side, we should also be able to accompany them, give them the necessary ideas, be able to call the President General and say, I think that we can do like this, we can do like that. Support them financially so that they can meet their aspirations. It is true, we expected much from the current ESCO, which did not meet their expectations. So we hope for a better future.
Moreover, he comments on the absence of LECUDO from the just held Meni Council Municipal session this April 31st, 2025 in Meni.
Do you have any idea why LECUDO was absent in such a vital meeting? And as per my observation, I think that everything was one-sided because the councillors were so comfortable to say their own, because nobody was there from the community to challenge them. What's your take on this, sir?
Okay, thank you for that remark. Well, I don't know whether the Central Executive of LECUDO was invited before they did not go. I myself, I was not invited. I think in a meeting of that magnitude, you don't just show yourself there. There should be some kind of formal invitation, which I, as President of Douala, did not receive. But I think that if there was to be an invitation, that invitation was to be channeled to the LECUDO Center, not to branches.
He thinks that the Diasporans should be part of the executive of the LECUDO General.
If you want the LECUDO Diaspora, if you want to commune with them, let can be part of decision making. I even went as far as saying that we are in a modern world. Elections can be carried out online. So if we want the diaspora to be part of LECUDO, they should be part of the executive. We can say that if the president comes from home, the vice president can come from the diaspora. The financial secretary can come from home, the vice financial secretary comes from the diaspora. In that way, they could commune together and take better decisions. Because when you keep them, it becomes difficult to manage the situation. They now function as an independent.
He further appeals for Lebang people not to just end at the level of criticizing the outgoing executive, but take part in the positions and serve the Lebang community as well.
Appealing to those people who sit at the background and only criticize. It's very easy to criticize them. It's very easy to criticize. But it should not only end, the Lebang man should not only end as at criticizing. They should take the bold step. They should take the bull by the horn and learn to serve the community. Give back to the community.
Other members of the meeting commented on the dissatisfaction of Lebang people towards the activities of the outgoing executive.
The very first thing, executive work. As one of those executives, boom cap, born to be in cap. Yes, and Babel Zero from 1980 to because we were about 30 something million. And long the manza, maybe more pass at school, and go more 3 million, 4 million, 1 more than one. So we appreciate that aspect. But I listen, but all of the Malabang. Malabang have reawakened. Egi the one women spirit one punyabo. But the Zambi have back to the rate, my number a problem. We work in them Kenya Meli. Can I younger are preferable move a strong and vibrant, young dynamic ESCO in place. Egi moving continue to me we work to see Ndong Gonzo. Because Malabanga and Bumbu initiative. Alles you live in let me know Gonzo. Kabaka race this amount, but race all along to the Manza. Egi young vibrant leader in LECUDO president have been put Ndohalanga, Mbumwell Bambuzo continue. Alle give that support. Alles you live in Malabangin Gonzo.
I think we've had a series of meetings in Korea. I think Douala hosted, Chang hosted, and let me say I was opportune to attend all of those meetings. And on my own point of view, is my view though, I can't say it's a view of everybody. It's true that you could see the center is going some activities here and there, but I don't think that they were really like what people expected from them. Considering the fact that they changed executive, I think the executive was completely overhauled in the executive of the center school, and people had a lot and very high expectations on what they were supposed to deliver during their reign, and you could hear one or two people complaining about the central school being absent, because I think this year they raised the 1,000 that we usually contribute for each member in our meeting in Douala. They raised it to 2,000 francs, and each of us were obliged to contribute 2,000 francs for the running of the central school. But then, we don't know, maybe during the presentation or the outgoing expo, we are going to see maybe reports. They will tell us how those funds were effectively used. Because for now, I can't say, because since you still have the elective meeting and the current president, who is the outgoing president, is supposed to present us a report of how his term of office went.
Though Mbwambebo, as the outgoing vice president, thinks that during their reign, they didn't only revive the Chiefs and the Beckham Conference, but also raise a great amount of funds.
You know, people must always complain, but I think that the outgoing executive, they did their best in certain fields. When we were voted in Boya, the president said he will mobilize the bank people, and I think in that area he did something, because before the elections, the chiefs were not. The bank chiefs conference was not active. The bank became the committee, the notables of the bank. Okay, we did that. He did that, the executive, and today the chiefs have their meeting that I think was initiated by the president. Also the Kamle Bank meeting. That is an area where we have actually worked on. And I also think that yes, the equipment, the caterpillar that the bank people bought for themselves. This was initiated by our Diasporans brothers, but we contributed a lot here by sensitizing people and asking them to contribute. And we standing and asking them, we know that it is the first time ever that the bankman in Cameroon has contributed money to the tune of 80-something million. I think that is a great achievement.
Okay, so
Members equally supported the idea of Diasporans being voted into the LECUDO General Executive.
Bola obata konyeju njetani haginya pawai.
Yeah, the very first assembly we are born that developmental spirit. All government all sacrifice for the fund. Because I'm able to me be move. The very first thing I work. Only sacrifice for the fund. You have sacrificed time, the energy, and you name the rest. Alice, you live in Mula once. You come below one president, you will never go from Bongmeti, go film Bongmeti, go film Bongmeti. I'm more than the best in Binangu at the ground level, back home, at the book, in Barnum. This is a book for a president. Allah Holanga, because you live in a lap, woman who me would worship for a level Gula. Point up what you may belong to, but you will go material for because your tenure of office. I mean,
I support the idea that our brothers in America, in UK, Canada, or wherever you find yourself, you can be part of the executive. I may only differ that if they are to be in the executive, they should not be the national president, because the national president, if not of the crisis, then the president should always be there to follow up the project that is at home in front of them. So, but involving them in voting and taking position in the executive, I stand for that.
Okay, let's just take for example the general president of this present outgoing executive, who was supposed to be part of the council meeting that just recently took place in Meni this weekend. That was on Friday, yesterday. I think that was that was on Friday, and he was absent, and so the meeting was one-sided. He was not there to represent the people. These are some of the weaknesses that are making the diaspora to think otherwise. What's your take on this, sir?
Well, Madam, I will not comment on that because I do not know. Actually, he had an invitation to, he was aware that the council was to hold in Meni, as you are saying, because I did not have any information as regards to that.
Moreover, members gave their opinions to caution those to vote the new executive, as well as those who desire to be voted in power, to ensure that the new executive carries out their functions efficiently in serving the Leban community.
If I were to say anything about the upcoming elections, there is only one thing which is important for LECUDO now, is to redefine
LECUDO, redefine LECUDO, redesign LECUDO for effective delivery. Anything other than this will still yield the same results, and people will start saying that the president and his executive have done nothing when they were actually giving nothing to work. So that is our counsel. The only thing that any person will be elected this time is expected to do is redesign LECUDO.
So those, and my question is to those that are going to vote. We are guiding our people. What should they take into consideration before voting people in power?
Well, the people should present their programs. If somebody comes and only says I want to be a candidate without telling you what he wants to do, he is not prepared for the job. Anybody who wants to take a position in LECUDO would have a priori define what he wants to do. And for me, I will only value somebody who says I am coming to redesign a LECUDO that will be functional for the next 100 years. That is what I want to see.
Dear viewers, that was it for today, and I believe you did enjoy every part of this program. Thank you so much for tuning in to be a part of this program, and please don't go away without subscribing, like, share, and leave us your comments. And please stay connected to Gaza Media as we continue to bring you updates on the elections of this executive of the Central Committee of LECUDO that is coming up on the 31st of May 2025. Once again, thank you for staying tuned, and I have been glad your host. Have a wonderful day ahead.